Hi everyone, this is Marianne and welcome to my channel. I am always in search of good paper that I can use with my fountain pens, and I prefer loose paper and paper pads that I can tear off to make loose sheets because I place them all in my disc-bound Life notebook, which I have been using for everything notebook related since January. Just one notebook for all of my notebook needs because that notebook has multiple sections. I have videos about my Life notebook, which I will link down below. And a few weeks ago, I ordered these paper pads from online. I will link this in the description box as well. This is the Jotter pad in the office. And this paper pad has actually been around for several years now in my country. I remember first coming across these paper pads in around 2009 or 2010, and I liked it then. It worked very well with my fountain pens at the time. I purchased several pads and managed to use them all up. But then, as I went along, I sort of veered towards different papers away from the Jotter pad. But I decided to try it again now, see if they still work well with fountain pens. This paper pad is 140 millimeters wide, which is a little narrower than standard A5 size, which is 148 millimeters wide. But the height is the same as the standard A5 size, which is 210 millimeters. And they are bound at the top with a clear glue that we can tear sheets off from. And the paper is thick enough, although I cannot categorically say what the weight of this paper is, but the paper is an off-white color, which I like. To try out this paper, I'm going to use one of my Jinhao 82 fountain pens. This has a fine nib and it is inked with Aurora Blue. And as you can see, there is no bleed through at the back, and the handwriting sample itself has no feathering, and it shows some amount of shading. These are three characteristics of paper that is fountain pen friendly, in my opinion. Gold Spot Pens has a fantastic video describing and demonstrating the characteristics of paper that is fountain pen friendly. I will link that video down below. Now let us try a different ink, still in a Jinhao 82 with a fine nib as well, but this ink is heavy with shimmer. This is called Diamine Gold Star, and as you can see, the shimmer is very visible in this paper. Let us try another ink. This is also a shimmer ink, but it's more subtle. This is also in a Jinhao 82 with a fine nib. This ink is called Wearingeul Alice. By the way, I have videos on my channel showing an unboxing and inking of all of these pens, so please feel free to stay around and browse. And the shimmer and shading are both visible on this paper as well. Now sometimes the shimmer settles on the bottom of the converter inside the pen because we tend to store the pens in a pen cup with a capped nib up. So I find that sometimes it helps to tap the converter and move the knob of the converter up and down a few times to swirl the ink around, and with it swirl the shimmer as well. If the shimmer is more distributed more evenly in the converter, more shimmer ends up on the paper. And as you can see, the second handwriting sample has a little bit more shimmer in it, but the performance is basically the same on the paper. And here is yet another ink that is heavy on the shimmer. This is Wearingeul Path in yet another Jinhao 82 with a fine nib. Now the shimmer did not show up here so much, so I did the tap-tappy thing on the converter to swirl the shimmer around, and with this second handwriting sample, there is more shimmer and also more shading. Now let us try this ink inside another Jinhao 82 with a fine nib. This ink is called Ferris Wheel Press Queen Allium. And I thought I might as well do the tap-tappy thing because this is also a shimmer ink, and on the second handwriting sample there is more shading and slightly more shimmer. Let us try out a few more inks with this a little bit more quickly and have one final close-up at the end. Here is a Jinhao 992 with a fine nib, and it is inked with Diamine Eau De Nil, one of my favorite inks of all time, because this ink has always had very pronounced shading, which is one of the reasons why I like it and one of the reasons why I like writing with fountain pens. It's the shading. And then let's try Noodler's Shaw's Rose inside a Jinhao 82 with a fine nib. And here is Diamine Aqua Lagoon inside a Jinhao 992 with a fine nib. And this is Diamine Kelly Green in a Wingsung 698 with a fine nib. Here is a close-up look at all of the inks showing some nice shading and shimmer. And as you can see, there is no feathering on the paper. And on the back, there is no bleed through that I can see. There is some amount of ghosting, but that's okay. Ghosting never bothered me. And after that, I can conclude that this paper is indeed fountain pen friendly. In a Facebook group for fountain pen users that are based in the Philippines, I posted a photo of this paper pad and some handwriting samples, and a fellow member commented that this Jotter pad is manufactured using various paper scraps that are left over from the cuttings of other paper stacks or paper products that the manufacturer makes. So because of that, the paper characteristics like the color, the thickness, the texture, and even maybe the performance can be inconsistent. But it has mostly proven to be fountain pen friendly, generally speaking. They just might not all look exactly like this. The paper pad also comes in covers of different colors, but because I tear these off into loose sheets, I don't mind at all what color of the cover I end up with. All in all, I think this is a reasonably decent paper to use with fountain pens, and it's not that expensive either. And if you like blank, this is blank. It does not come in any ruled versions or anything like that. This video is not sponsored, but the link where I purchased these will be in the description box. I hope you found this video helpful. Thanks for watching. Bye.